Markets yesterday and overnight were generally a bit weaker, couldn't retain the recovery set in train by last week's data releases. So the strong price action we saw may have been short covering exercise after all. But bond investor focus this week will be on what Fed Chair Powell says in a speech tomorrow. Bear in mind that forward markets indicate 100 basis points of rate cuts from the Fed by the end of 2024. The narrative I would imagine coming from the Fed is going to be one of higher for longer for some time yet. In the UK, we saw house price rises in October, according to the Halifax data, and we've got King Charles delivering the King's speech to Parliament later today, setting out the UK's legislative agenda for the run into what is likely to be an election year. I think there'll be a fair bit of focus on that. In UK company news this morning, we've had contrasting results from two businesses from the US. 4imprint upgraded full-year guidance of profitability, albeit it said it sees some evidence of softening demand patterns typical of a more cautious macroeconomic environment. However, this is a business where they remain confident that they can see the ability to take market share in a very fragmented market. It's a US-based distribution business in small batch promotional products. So if you're organizing a company golf day and you need some golf balls with your company logo on at short notice, they're the go-to people. It's a very efficient operating model, basically operates on very little or no working capital, as most of its products are drop shipped directly from its own suppliers. It's got very close control over its growth by flexing its marketing spend, allowing it to generate cash in almost all market conditions. Since the lockdown, 4imprint's enjoyed a step change in its growth, but as things slow down from here, it can trim its cost base accordingly. And with pretty minimal market share still in a fragmented market and a sustainable competitive advantage, this company can continue to grow as a serial compounder for several years to come. The other stock I looked at this morning was Naked Wine, which is having a few issues in the US. It warned that trading in the US during Q2 and October has been weaker than anticipated. The CEO is to be replaced by the founder and former CEO, Rowan Gormley, who steps up as interim exec chair. And he and his CFO, James Crawford, will have to embark on a new recovery strategy. Unlike 4imprint US, which is a US native, Naked Wine is just another of a long list of UK consumer-facing companies that are struggling to grow in the US. And today's reset is going to be interesting to watch. Now that the original founders are back together, it's worth seeing what sort of new strategy they come up with. But the shares are down sharply again today, and it looks like they may have left it pretty late in the day to affect this turnaround, but we will see.